Your brain, under the crushing weight of certain stresses, possesses a profound neurochemical override system that makes the very act of surrendering biologically impossible. Giving up transforms from a conscious choice into a physiological non-option. This isn't about willpower, it's about a hardwired emergency circuit firing, making continued effort the only path your biology will allow. What we're about to uncover is the truth behind this survival brain, how it literally rewires itself under duress, activating a dormant resilience engine within you. We'll delve into the precise neurochemical cascade that shifts your operating parameters, revealing why this mechanism isn't just for extreme physical survival, but a hidden blueprint for human potential that fundamentally changes how you approach every challenge in your life, right now. At the core of this profound resilience lies a dynamic interplay between our ancient stress responses and our sophisticated cognitive faculties. When faced with conditions that trigger a primal threat, the brain doesn't simply activate a fight or flight response, it initiates a much deeper, more sustained neurochemical restructuring. Picture your brain as an incredibly complex, adaptive machine. Under normal circumstances, it operates within established efficiency parameters, but when pushed to its absolute limits, particularly when self-preservation is on the line, it accesses an emergency protocol. One key player in this is the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, or HPA axis. While commonly associated with acute stress, its sustained activation during extreme duress leads to a continuous deluge of cortisol, adrenaline, and noradrenaline. What's often overlooked is how this relentless chemical bath begins to fundamentally alter neural pathways. It's not just a temporary surge, it's a resculpting of the very landscape of your mind. Consider the work of Dr. Robert Sapolsky, extensively documented in his 1994 seminal work, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. He meticulously illustrated how prolonged exposure to stressors doesn't just damage the body, but also modifies the brain's architecture, especially in areas governing fear, memory, and executive function. In contexts of survival, this modification leans not towards pathology, but toward an intensified focus, a hypervigilance, and a singular drive for persistence. The brain is less concerned with long-term mental health and more concerned with immediate, uninterrupted survival. It's about overriding the signals of fatigue, of pain, of despair. It's the brain telling itself unequivocally that stopping is not an option. And it achieves this through a powerful, almost forceful redirection of internal resources. This leads to a critical question. How does this relentless internal pressure transform a biological imperative into a permanent imprint on your very identity? This isn't merely a fleeting physiological response, it's a profound, lasting transformation. The sustained neurochemical storm we just discussed doesn't just temporarily override your desire to quit, it triggers epigenetic changes. Think of epigenetics as a dimmer switch for your genes, controlling whether they are turned up or down, on or off, without changing the underlying DNA code itself. Under extreme, prolonged duress, this dimmer switch is flipped, dramatically altering how your brain processes future stress, how it makes critical decisions, and even how it perceives its own limits. Imagine someone facing an unimaginable crisis, perhaps the complete, abrupt collapse of their life's work, everything they've built, dissolving overnight. Before this extreme stress, they might have been prone to analysis paralysis, perhaps prone to self-doubt, or overwhelmed by minor setbacks. Their brain, operating on its standard settings, would have flagged this as an insurmountable problem, triggering avoidance or despair. But when the survival brain kicks in, when that neurochemical override makes giving up biologically impossible, something profound shifts. Their internal dialogue changes. The subtle signals of fatigue are ignored. Fear is reframed, not as a deterrent, but as a fuel for intense focus. Decisions, once agonizing, become swift, almost instinctual. They might find themselves working 3 times as long, finding innovative solutions they never would have conceived of before. their brain reprioritizing everything towards resolution. This isn't about discovering newfound willpower, it's about their neurobiology being reconfigured to force them into a state of unwavering persistence. Consider the groundbreaking work published by Dr. Rachel Yehuda and colleagues in 2015, examining epigenetic modifications in individuals exposed to severe trauma, particularly those who experienced combat. Their research showed specific epigenetic changes, particularly in genes related to stress response pathways, that persisted for years after the traumatic event. These changes weren't just temporary, they became part of the individual's new biological baseline. For the survival brain, this means the experience of refusing to yield, the constant push against insurmountable odds, becomes biologically etched into the system. This creates a new normal for their stress response and decision-making. That person who lost everything now approaches subsequent challenges with an altered stress threshold, a heightened capacity for endurance, and an intuitive understanding that solutions often lie beyond what was previously considered possible. The old self, easily deterred, has been overwritten by a new operating system that fundamentally understands the biological imperative of never stopping. What understanding this profound, innate capacity to persevere isn't just an intellectual exercise, it's a toolkit for engineering your own resilience. There are 3 powerful, research-backed techniques to harness this resilience engine, or at least understand its implications for your daily life. First, practice purposeful hormesis. This involves intentionally exposing yourself to manageable doses of stress that, paradoxically, strengthen your system rather than overwhelm it. This isn't about seeking out trauma, but about controlled challenges. Think of it like lifting weights for your brain. For instance, cold exposure therapy, deliberately taking cold showers or plunges, is a hormetic stressor. When you commit to it for even 30 seconds, your body releases noradrenaline and dopamine, enhancing focus and mood. Consistently engaging in such activities, even when your immediate impulse is to quit, trains your brain's override system in a low-stakes environment. The expected result? Over time, your baseline stress tolerance increases, and your capacity to push through discomfort in more significant life challenges expands, almost as if you're rehearsing for when the true survival brain needs to activate. Second, master cognitive reappraisal as a proactive strategy. Instead of waiting for a crisis to activate the survival brain's forced reframing, you deliberately engage in it. When facing a setback, whether it's a career disappointment or a personal challenge, immediately reframe it from "this is a failure" to "this is necessary feedback." For example, if a project you poured months into falls apart, consciously tell yourself, "this isn't a dead end, it's a detour that demands a more innovative path." Research in cognitive psychology shows that individuals who consistently reappraise negative events report lower levels of stress and higher emotional resilience. The specific method involves identifying the immediate negative thought, challenging its validity, and then actively constructing an alternative, growth-oriented interpretation. The expected outcome is a reduced physiological stress response and a quicker transition from emotional reaction to proactive problem-solving, essentially mimicking the no-quit imperative of the survival brain before the actual emergency forces it. Third, engage in proactive post-traumatic growth planning. This might sound counterintuitive, but it's about anticipating future challenges and mentally rehearsing how you will grow through them, not just survive them. This isn't about manifesting negativity, but acknowledging that adversity is inevitable and then preemptively building a framework for positive psychological change. For example, if you foresee a major transition, perhaps a career change or an empty nest, spend time journaling or discussing with a trusted confidant not just the potential difficulties, but the 5 specific ways this challenge could make you stronger, wiser, or more compassionate. This process, supported by research in positive psychology, essentially primes your brain to look for the silver linings and the lessons within the struggle, even before the struggle fully materializes. By consciously seeking growth opportunities within imagined hardship, you lay down neural pathways that facilitate resilience, ensuring that when the real challenges arrive, your brain is already accustomed to viewing them as catalysts for evolution, rather than insurmountable obstacles. This prepares your internal override system to not just prevent surrender, but to ensure that the struggle yields profound internal transformation. From this moment forward, when you feel the urge to step back, to surrender, to declare something impossible, you will understand it differently. You'll recognize that true surrender isn't just a lack of willpower, it's a failure of your biological operating system to engage its most powerful override. You'll look at people who have faced profound adversity, not with pity, but with a new understanding of the immense, almost frightening capacity their neurobiology developed to simply refuse to yield. Your own perceived limits are not fixed, they are dynamic, responsive to the demands placed upon them. The struggle itself is the forge in which this extraordinary resilience engine is built and refined. You are designed to push through. The true architecture of your mind is only just beginning to reveal itself. There are more blueprints to uncover, more hidden systems waiting to be understood, each one reshaping your perception of human potential. Join us again as we explore the next incredible revelation about how your brain is constantly shaping who you are and who you can become.